to talk about Kim and Joey in this last episode of Love After Lockup. First of all, I don't understand how Kim feels confident being with Joey because he's been nothing but secretive with her since he's been out of prison. Literally, as soon as she gives this man a car, not even an hour later, he's ran off with the car, won't tell her where he's going. Luckily, she's got the tracker, so she can do some investigating on her own. But if it wasn't for that, she would have no idea. And then when he came back, he refused to answer and tell her who he was with. If he's already like this from the jump, just imagine how he's going to be later down the road. And I just don't understand why he isn't being transparent with her. I feel like the real reason is because he's not a very good liar, so he would rather avoid answering the question altogether. I got the vibes that he wasn't a very good liar when I saw his conversation he had with Kim's dad. And we're going to get to that here in a second. But Joey finally came back from his little drive or whatever he did, and he comes back and his niece was there, and she hasn't seen Joey in years, and she sat down with Joey and let him know like how important he was in her life growing up and how much it affected her when she was in 6th grade and came across like a needle that he left in a bathroom or something. And after that, her whole life changed because she realized that her uncle that she loved was struggling with drugs. Joey promised her that she has nothing to worry about. He's done going to prison. He has a family now and a focus. And the thing that concerns me with Joey is because when he talks, especially sometimes in his confessionals, and I really noticed it in this conversation he had with his niece, he was having like long, drawn out blinks. Like every time his eyes would blink, his eyes would like stay closed for a few seconds at a time. And it kind of reminded me of Branwen when it looked like she was obviously using when her season was on, and then come to find out people were claiming that she was on opiates. And I don't know, maybe he didn't get enough sleep the night before with the kids or what. But he definitely seemed like he was struggling to stay awake and focus at times. And then we see Joey go back inside and sit down with Kim's family and some of his family. And then he's like, hey, you know, before we all open up presents, I want to give Kim her present. And he gets on one knee and proposes to her. And they were already engaged because he did like a little prison proposal. But he wanted to like do it the right way with a good ring. He got $3,700 somehow to drop on a ring. And I don't get how these people on this show be having all this money. Like, Love After Lockup is the only place I've seen prisoners get out of prison and have money to drop on rings that some like normal people can't even afford out here. Hell, I'm still trying to figure out how Kim is able to have the house she has and have her car and then be able to buy a car for Joey and have her dad fix it up and buy all these presents and all these other things off a salary of $15 an hour. Like, she claims she sold a house to help like reimburse and come up with money that she dropped on Joey. But still, that's a lot of money if you add it all up, especially as a single mom of 2 kids, unless she's getting like hella child support or something. Joey asked Kim to marry her. She said yes, and everyone seemed excited for them. And then, of course, when she saw the ring, she wanted to know how he was able to afford it. And, of course, he hit her with the baby, don't worry about it. Then Kim, her dad wanted to take Joey outside and could get to the bottom of some things. And I guess this is like their first real conversation, sitting down in person. And I know Kim and Joey were already engaged prior, but I really feel like he should have waited to have this conversation with Kim's father and asked for permission to propose to Kim again, like in person. You know, at least try to get her blessing. Because I didn't like that they hadn't even really sat down and talked in person before he jumped proposing to her right in front of him. But anyways, they go outside, and the dad just told him, like, look, I've been pretty upset for over 20 years because I feel like you and your cousin took my dirt bike. And Joey didn't have anything to say. He was responding to everything but that one thing he brought up. And then he's like, you know, I want you to treat Kim good. I need you to get a job. And he's going through all the requirements that Joey needs to do and what he wants to see from him. And Joey's like, I got you. I promise you. The dad said straight up, look, I don't trust you, and the only reason I'm giving this a chance is because I see how happy Kim has been lately. He claims that this is the happiest he's seen his daughter in over 6 years. And Joey was like, oh yeah, you have nothing to worry about. And then he's like, oh yeah, and about that dirt bike, I'm not gonna say that I didn't see it at some point, but I'm not the one that took it. Which just kind of tells me that he probably knew where it was and told someone, hey, you know, they're not going to be home. Go pull up and get this dirt bike and then we can split it. I'm sure he benefited off that dirt bike being taken that night. I'm kind of suspecting that he was there. That's just my personal opinion. Just because the way he was acting, he was making direct eye contact with Kim's dad the whole time. And then all of a sudden when he starts talking about the dirt bike, he couldn't make eye contact with him at all. And his whole body language changed. You could tell he felt very uncomfortable. And the dad even said after the conversation was over with that, hey, I still feel like he's lying about the dirt bike because the dad ain't no fool either. He could see exactly what we were all seeing from home when he was sitting there trying to explain himself to Kim's dad. And he still told him, look, I'm going to give you a chance. Just treat my daughter right. And Joey promised he would. So I guess we'll just have to see how this all plays out. I definitely feel like he's going to struggle, though, trying to adjust to suddenly being the father figure to two different kids. I mean, he already was struggling to handle it the first night, not even 24 hours in at the house, to the point where he had to leave for a little bit. Especially on Christmas morning, out of all times. That is the time that most people are with their families, unless they're people that either have no family or people that are on drugs and all their families have cut them off. And it's like, if he can't handle being there on Christmas, I wonder how he's going to handle it the other 364 days of the year. But that's pretty much it for Joey and Kim. The crazy part is we start seeing Kim going shopping for wedding dresses in the next episode, yet she admits that she's not even divorced from her last husband yet. I feel like she should have finalized the divorce before she tried to rush getting engaged to Joey. And, you know, she's throwing all this money on Joey, but she's going to need some money for that divorce too, because divorces can be expensive. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about Kim and Joey so far in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.